For millions, names like Odin, Thor, and Loki now conjure images from a video game, God of War Ragnarök. The game's gripping story of Kratos and Atreus has introduced Norse mythology to a new generation, making ancient gods and monsters feel personal and alive. But the original Norse myths are much older, and their stories were not a single linear plot, but a tapestry of poems and tales passed down for centuries. These myths were a living belief system, helping people make sense of the world, not just entertain. God of War takes creative liberties, reimagining characters and events, but understanding these differences can deepen our appreciation for both the game and the original myths. Let's explore where these stories come from, how they imagined the gods and the cosmos, and how Ragnarök was first envisioned. Our understanding of Norse myths owes much to the remarkable Icelandic manuscripts, painstakingly written down in the 13th century. By this time, Scandinavia had already embraced Christianity, and the old pagan beliefs were fading into memory. Yet, in the remote landscapes of Iceland, scribes preserved these ancient stories, ensuring they would not be lost to time. The two most important sources we have are the Poetic Edda, a collection of hauntingly beautiful and mysterious poems, and the Prose, Edda, crafted by the scholar Snorri Sturluson. These works are the foundation of our knowledge about Norse mythology. The Poetic Edda preserves the oldest tales, prophecies of Ragnarök, clever contests of wit between gods, and the tragic heroics of legendary figures. Its verses echo with the voices of a distant past, capturing the imagination of generations. The Prose Edda, meanwhile, organizes these scattered myths and explains their poetic language, but often interprets them through a Christian lens. Snorri's work attempts to make sense of the old beliefs for a new audience, blending tradition with the realities of his own time. These texts are not sacred scriptures, but rather the efforts of people looking back at a lost faith. Some details may have been changed, misunderstood, or even deliberately altered, as the scribes tried to reconcile the old stories with their new world. Despite these challenges, the Eddas are priceless treasures. They preserve a worldview, a sense of wonder, and a connection to the natural world that would have otherwise vanished forever. Through these manuscripts, we catch a rare glimpse into the minds of those who saw gods in storms, fate in the flight of ravens, and meaning written in the stars above. Thanks to the Eddas, the old stories endure, surviving the centuries, inspiring new generations, and continuing to be retold and reimagined in countless ways. In God of War, Yggdrasil, the World Tree, is imagined as a cosmic hub connecting 9 distinct realms, each one a unique world, filled with its own landscapes, creatures, and mysteries to explore. The game's map is designed for adventure, letting players travel between these realms as if they were separate lands on a grand cosmic tree. This makes for a brilliant and engaging game map, but the original Norse myths are far less clear or straightforward about the structure of the cosmos. In the ancient stories, Yggdrasil is the great ash tree holding the universe together, but the 9 realms are more poetic than literal. They're often described in overlapping, shifting ways, with boundaries that are vague or even invisible. The number 9 in Norse myth symbolized cosmic completeness and magic, not a set of separate planets or worlds as we might imagine today. The mythic cosmos is layered and symbolic, Asgard above, Midgard in the middle, hell below. But these realms sometimes blend into each other, with gods, giants, and spirits moving between them in ways that defy simple maps. Yggdrasil itself is alive and dynamic, gnawed by the dragon Nidhogg, home to a gossiping squirrel named Ratatoskr, and crowned by a wise eagle. Its branches and roots connect all things, both seen and unseen. The game's version simplifies this complexity for gameplay, turning myth into a navigable world. But the original vision is more mysterious, poetic, and open to interpretation, inviting us to imagine what lies between the lines. Both the game and the myths capture the sense of a vast, interconnected universe, but they do so in very different ways. One through interactive adventure, the other through timeless mystery and imagination. In God of War Ragnarök, the end of the world is not just a prophecy, it's a battle to change fate itself. Kratos and Atreus, father and son, stand together against Odin, the All-Father, determined to forge a new path and defy the doom that has been foretold for ages. The game frames Ragnarök as a rebellion, a desperate struggle where destiny is not set in stone, but something that can be challenged and rewritten by sheer will and courage. But in the original Norse myths, Ragnarök is inevitable. A tragic fate the gods march toward with grim acceptance, knowing their end is woven into the fabric of the cosmos. The mythic Ragnarök begins with Fimbulwinter, an endless winter that brings chaos, starvation, and the breaking of all bonds between gods, men, and nature itself. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, breaks free from his chains, the Midgard serpent rises from the depths, and gods and giants clash in a final mutual destruction that shakes the world. Odin is devoured by Fenrir. Thor slays the serpent but succumbs to its venom, and Loki meets his end alongside Heimdall in a battle that leaves the world in ruins. The world burns and sinks beneath the waves, but from the ashes, a new world emerges. Some gods survive, Balder returns from the dead, and humanity is reborn to begin the cycle anew. The myth is about cycles of destruction and renewal, not about victory over tyranny or rewriting fate, but about accepting the eternal rhythm of endings and beginnings. The game turns Ragnarök into a personal struggle for hope and agency, while the myth presents it as a cosmic destiny that even gods cannot escape. Both versions are powerful, each resonating with different truths, one about fighting for change, the other about accepting the cycles of existence. Their meanings are worlds apart. Understanding this difference reveals the unique spirit of each story, and deepens our appreciation for how myths evolve to reflect the hopes and fears of every age. God of War's Odin is a manipulative tyrant, obsessed with control and feared by all. In the myths, Odin is more ambiguous, a seeker of wisdom, a master of magic, and a god of both war and poetry. He sacrifices his eye for knowledge and hangs himself from Yggdrasil to learn the runes, driven by a desperate need to understand fate. Odin is a deceiver and a wanderer, known for his disguises and unpredictable motives. He gathers fallen warriors for the final battle, not out of paranoia, but acceptance of his fate. The game amplifies his villainous traits for dramatic effect, but the mythic Odin is complex-wise, ruthless, and never simply good or evil. He embodies both creation and destruction, making him one of mythology's most enigmatic figures. The contrast shows how mythic characters can be reshaped to fit new stories and audiences. In the game, Thor is a tragic, conflicted enforcer, haunted by loss and manipulated by Odin. The mythic Thor, however, is the straightforward champion of gods and humans, beloved for his strength and reliability. He's the defender of Asgard and Midgard, smashing giants with his hammer and protecting the common folk. Thor's tales are often heroic and even humorous, not tragic or introspective. He's a man of action, not a brooding anti-hero. The game gives Thor psychological depth and a troubled past, making him a mirror for Kratos. But the original Thor is a cheerful, red-bearded thunder god, a symbol of order and strength. Both versions are compelling, but they serve very different narrative purposes. God of War's boldest move is making Atreus the young, heroic Loki, a compassionate boy struggling with his destiny. In the myths, Loki is a dangerous trickster, the son of giants and Odin's blood brother, not a child or a hero. He's clever, charming, and sometimes helpful, but ultimately brings tragedy, most notably causing Balder's death. Loki's punishment is eternal torment, and at Ragnarök, he leads the forces of chaos against the gods. By turning Loki into Atreus, the game transforms a villain into a sympathetic protagonist, creating tension around his fate. The game splits Loki's traits. Atreus embodies his potential for good, while Odin reflects his cunning and malice. This reinvention is the game's most radical and creative departure from the source material. It asks, can destiny be changed, or is the trickster's path inevitable? Adapting ancient myths means choosing what to keep and what to change, and God of War Ragnarök excels at this. The game draws names, places, and creatures straight from the Eddas, Norns, Valkyries, Jörmungandr, and more. It captures the Norse sense of fate and doom, and the animosity between gods and giants. But it invents much Kratos, Atreus as Loki, and the framing of Ragnarök as a war for liberation. Characters like Freya and Odin are reimagined, and the giants become peaceful victims rather than chaotic adversaries. These changes create a focused, emotional story, turning scattered myths into a cohesive narrative. The game's greatest strength is capturing the spirit of the myths, even as it transforms their details. It's not a retelling, but a creative reimagining for a new audience. The result is a story that feels both ancient and fresh. God of War Ragnarök isn't a literal retelling of Norse myth. It's a modern saga inspired by ancient tales. The game succeeds by capturing the emotional core somber tone, looming fate, and cosmic scale. Myths have always evolved, shaped by each new storyteller and generation. The Eddas themselves were reinterpretations, and today's adaptations continue that tradition. For those drawn in by the game, the original myths offer a different, haunting beauty, less about heroism, more about fate and acceptance. God of War has sparked new curiosity, inviting millions to explore the old stories. Myths are living narratives, meant to be retold and reimagined. Whether carved in stone or rendered in pixels, their spirit endures through storytelling.